to do it. There we go.
Okay.
It is.
Well, no, now it's broadcasting.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mayor Fuller.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kim Plumb.
Good morning.
Hi, everybody who is watching today. I know we've got participants that are being admitted right now, so we're going to just give it a few seconds just to get some more people in. I know we've had quite a few who have registered today, and we're happy that they're joining us as we're getting started. All right, see them coming in, filing in. Okay, all right, well, I just want to welcome everybody to our webinar about boards and commissions. My name is Lisa Hermes, and I'm president of the Mckinney Chamber of Commerce. And 2020 is a very special year. So this year we're doing things a little bit different to help engage our community in the process of being involved more with our community. And so thanks to just a little thing called COVID-19, we are taking it from an in-person community-wide fair, and we're doing it via Zoom. So with that, we've had to make some different changes, but I think in the long run, we're going to be able to reach a lot of people who may not have been able to join us in an in-person event, and hopefully get more information about how you can become engaged in our community. This program is actually brought to you by the Leadership Alumni Network and the City of McKinney. So they work closely together. Empress Drain is also on our call today, and she is our city secretary. And so I know Deb, who is our liaison to our leadership program, they work very closely to help promote and spread the word every year when the city is looking for volunteers to serve on the various boards and commissions. I think it's really important during this time that we really do engage our community. Our community needs us more than ever to have smart, caring, passionate people who live here in our community, serve in various capacities, and be able to help us build a stronger, better community as we continue to grow. Our tagline, Unique by Nature, isn't just about the trees. It's about the people who actually live in our community, that we are unique because of all of the diversity of who lives in our community, and why our community is a strong community, because we do have so many people who care about and are passionate about the city. So we're happy that you're here today, and hopefully we can shed some light on some opportunities for you to give back, and we'll learn a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of how to actually apply and go through the process. And as we hear from the different boards and commissions, as things spark your interest, if you have any questions, we're going to be helping you get those questions answered. So a couple of Zoom housekeeping things that I need to go over with you today. So we have all the attendees are muted, and the video is disabled during the webinar. So you'll only see the people who are talking, the panelists who are the chairs of our various boards and commissions, as well as, of course, our mayor and our assistant city manager and our city secretary. You have the opportunity, though, to chat with us and to ask questions. So throughout the webinar, if you look, mine's at the bottom of my screen, there are some options for you where you can place some questions in there. And so we have some people, some of our chamber staff who are monitoring those questions. We're going to do our best at the end to answer any and all questions. If we don't get to your question, don't worry. We're going to do our best to connect with you offline so that you'll get your question answered. Also, if you are experiencing any technical difficulties, we have our technical troubleshooter on call, Kathy Blank. Many of you know her. She's our vice president here at the chamber. She is going to be running our troubleshooting technical assistance for you. So if you have any technical difficulties, you can you can email her, kblank, B-L-A-N-K, at mckinneychamber.com, or you can text her at 214-728-6413, and she'll put that in the chat as well. So let's get started. So my first order of business is to introduce to you our Mayor George Fuller, as well as our Assistant City Manager, Kim Plumb, and our City Secretary, Empress Drain. So welcome. Hi, guys. Glad that you're here.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
George, are you in San Francisco?
Yeah. Just enjoying the weather today.
I think you should. It's going to be 100 degrees in McKinney, Texas. So George, I didn't know, we'll start with you, kind of want to share some of your thoughts about why this process is so important.
You know, boards and commissions, I mean, at the end of the day, really what they're about is community input, guiding the community on where we're headed, really shaping the future of the community. It's a voice for each of the boards or commissions, and there's from economic development to community development to parks to libraries. And as we've seen the last 4 months, first with COVID, and of course now with what's going on with George Floyd and all the racial tension, important issues, our country as a whole is in great turmoil. So if there was ever a time for people to really rise up and get engaged and help lead, this would be that time. So I would think if you're considering being on a board and commission and helping this city, there's not a better time in its history to get involved and really make a difference and have a voice and help us steer this big ship that is the greatest place in the country to live. So elated that people are interested in serving and certainly honored to be mayor of this great city. And
correct me, you also served on one of the boards and commissions prior to being.
I did. I served on the McKinney Community Development Corporation. I ended up being the chair of that board, and tremendously satisfying, and got to be part of some really great projects like the Apex Center and gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Our sport, PSA. Thank you. Because I fought for it to be MSA, so I don't like PSA, Plano, sports already. But yeah, those are two big projects that I got to participate on. It made a real difference in the community. So again, tremendously satisfying and love to have been a part of it. So if you're going to be part of one of these boards and commissions, you too will be part of projects like that.
Great. Well, so Kim Plumb, she is somewhat new to McKinney now as our assistant city manager. So do you want to just briefly kind of introduce yourself and talk about, your role from a city staff perspective of why it's important to be a part of our boards and commissions?
Absolutely. Thanks, Lisa. So yes, I'm Kim Plumb, the newest assistant city manager for the city of McKinney. Started here in January, decided switching jobs right before a global pandemic would be an awesome thing to do. But it has been an incredible experience because McKinney is an incredible community. From a staff level perspective, we literally cannot do our jobs without our boards and commissions. These boards and commissions that you're going to hear about today, they bring together our bright and diverse minds in McKinney, and they essentially help facilitate the decision-making process up to the council level. We bring together all of the folks in McKinney so that we have a full understanding of the issues so that council can make their policy decisions based on what's happening at those boards and commissions. My confession is this: I did not come from, out of college, a world of local government. And, as a young 20-something-year-old, I would probably not even be able to tell you what a board or commission did. And if you asked me about it, I'd probably say, well, that sounds super boring. Why would I want to sit in a meeting like every other week? The reality is, now that I know, to me, these boards and commissions are like that secret local restaurant that everyone knows that's really good, but no one talks about. It's not on social media. I mean, this is one of the best opportunities for citizen volunteerism. And like most volunteer efforts, it goes both ways. We need your expertise, we need your talent, but boards and commissions also give back. There are very few opportunities to be better informed about what's happening in the city. I can probably assure you that if you're on a board and commission, you're one of your popular neighbors because they're always asking you what's going on. You're going to connect with the community and meet new people. you are really going to make a difference. Local government is one of those, it's that sector of government where you can just have immediate impact on what's happening in your community. One of the favorite sayings that I stumbled across recently is, you only vote in elections once a year. But when you volunteer in your community, you vote every day for the kind of community you want to be in. And being on a board and commission is really a way to do that. As staff, our job is to help you with that and to make it not scary and not super, like, saying board and commission and authority, that can be intimidating to some. But our job is to help you, give you the information you need so that you can focus on doing what's best for the community and helping make those decisions. In the city, our employees and our staff follow these 4 core values: rise, integrity, service, and excellence. And under each core value, there's a bunch of little statements that are fantastic. Under the service category, there's a statement that I love, and it is, we never forget that we exist to make McKinney a better place to live, work, and raise a family. As staff, that's what we live for every day. I'm blessed to have such a cool job that I can say that's part of my job. But serving on a board and commission, you're doing the same in a huge way. So I'm so excited that there are so many people on this webinar, and I know you're going to hear just great information from our citizen volunteers today.
Thank you, Kim. And last, but certainly not least, because she's going to be your best friend in walking you through the process of how to apply and all the nuts and bolts of that, is our very own City Secretary, Empress Strain. I'm going to give you a virtual high five because she's also a Leadership McKinney alumni. So that's another program that I'm happy to share with you and chat with you offline and connect you with Deb Fitzgerald, because it's a great way to get involved in your community and learn more about your community. So I'm going to give just a quick shout out to our leadership program. But anyways, Empress is one of our alumni and also our city secretary. So Empress, do you want to say a few words about, from your level and what you do, a little bit more about the B's and C's?
Very quickly this morning, I want to thank everyone for joining us in, the listeners as well as our panelists. We're very excited to share this opportunity, and thanks to the Chamber as well as the leadership alumni in terms of supporting the level of citizen engagement and the opportunity to serve on boards. The City Secretary's office will be, like Lisa said, your best friend in terms of learning about the process to apply. We're going to take you every step of the way, let you find out where the information is and how to connect to those boards and commissions, to understand the schedule and the process to get you ready to go. So everything that you need, just reach out to our office and we're here to help you every step of the way.
And remind everybody, what is the deadline to apply?
Absolutely. The deadline to apply for the McKinney Boards and Commissions is June 19th. So we still have about 10 days to get ready for that. You can apply online at mckinneytexas.org/boards. And we'll provide additional information and be here to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Empress. Appreciate you. And okay, so we're going to get started with all of our panelists today from the boards and commissions. Just a quick reminder, again, if you have any questions, please feel free to either use the chat or the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And we'll be funneling those questions, having a Q&A afterwards. And again, if we don't get your question answered, we will be sure to try to follow up with you and get that answer to your question offline. All right, so for all the panelists, if you will now enable your video, but remain muted. Thank you, here they all come on. It's like magic, I love it. They just magically appear. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, this says in my script in no particular order. The order is actually by last name, Alpha. So that's how we're gonna go forward with introducing everybody. So I'll introduce each of the panelists and they're gonna share for about 2 minutes, a little bit about the nature of what their board does and maybe some personal thoughts on why they serve. Again, a lot of the real technical information about each of those boards is also located on the city's website. We'll put that in the chat. We'll link it directly to the boards and commissions page on the city's website too. So, okay, let's get started. Our first one on the list is Bill Cox, who is with Planning and Zoning Commission. He's also a former city council member, former chamber chairman, former Mr. McKinney, basically. So, Bill, I know you're here in the capacity of our Planning and Zoning Commission. So if you'd like to share a few words.
I will. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for putting this together. This is a great opportunity for citizens to get involved and learn more about the process of serving on a board or a commission. Specifically, the Planning and Zoning Commission, we consider site plans and plats and zoning changes for the city of McKinney. We are a recommending body. We make recommendations to the city council. There are a few things like site plans, which we are the final approval authority. If a site plan has an exception or a variance request, that item would go on to the city council. But for the most part, by the time an item has come through the staff, it stops at the Planning and Zoning Commission level. A little bit about who we are. We are a 7-member board. We serve at the pleasure of the city council. We are appointed every year to serve in that capacity. Everyone has a different background. I have a real estate and development background. We have engineers, we have architects, we have homeowners. So our 7-member board really is a good cross representation of what McKinney is. Why do I serve? I enjoy being involved in the process of development, the process of watching McKinney grow, and helping to some degree shape how McKinney looks when we leave this to the next generation. These are exciting times we live in McKinney. Who knows what, to use an overused term, the new normal will be, but we are all here and everyone is serving in our various capacities, and the Planning and Zoning Commission, if you have a background and have an interest in development and what McKinney looks like, this may be something for you to consider. Thank you, Lisa.
I gotta unmute myself. It's a Zoom common thing. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. The next person we'll be hearing from is Jackie Brewer. She's with the McKinney Community Development Corporation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to discuss McKinney Community Development Corporation, as better known as MCDC. We are a 7-member board. We meet the 4th Thursday of every month at 8 a.m. in the City Council chambers. We have a president, Cindy Schneibel, and a marketing and administrative person, Linda Jones. For those of you who aren't familiar with MCDC, we use sales tax dollars to generate projects and promotional grants that enhance McKinney. Since 1996, at our inception, we have spent about $155 million of, once again, sales tax dollars for quality of life projects in McKinney. I want to make sure everyone knows to buy McKinney, and it's my McKinney. These are dollars, sales tax dollars from restaurant and retail sales in McKinney. I've loved being on this board. I was on the Parks Board previously and also served as chairman. I'm now serving as chairman of this board. Once again, just like Kim said, it gives you a great opportunity to be in the know about your city, and then with this particular board to actually make a difference. As Mayor Fuller suggested, we have done some great projects. PSA is a great example of a great project he was a part of. I've been able to be a part of that project, the Apex Center, the Courts of McKinney, the airport. We also contribute to Habitat for Humanity and have helped with Merritt Homes, Newsom Homes, now the Cotton Groves. We also support parks. We provide $5.5 million annually to the Parks Department and are their major source of funding. I do have neighbors that ask me what's going on here or there, and it's a great opportunity for me to be able to share what's happening in McKinney to those who maybe don't have time to serve or don't have an interest. But it has been a wonderful experience for me. I was also a part of Leadership McKinney, the best class ever, 2012. We also have Scott Elliott and Frederick Fraser, 2 of our councilmen who are in my class. So I feel proud to be a part of that. that led me here, because it does give you experience into what goes on in your city and what your opportunities are to serve and give back. I've lived here since 1993 and felt like it was time for me to give back to my community that has done so good for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Appreciate your service, and another virtual high five to fellow leadership alumni. All right, moving right along, we also have with us, and it's a good segue that you talked about parks and MCDC funding parks, because we have with us Kip Dixon, who is the chair of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Welcome, Kip.
Hello, Lisa. How is everyone doing this wonderful morning? Thanks for allowing me to be on this Zoom call. I'm here to speak about the Park Recreations and Open Space Advisory Board, which I have been honored to chair for the last 2 years. Our makeup is of a 7-person team, along with 2 alternates, and we meet every 4th Thursday at 5 o'clock during the month. And this board has a very busy board. We support the director, Michael Kowski, and his wonderful team of leaders that he's assembled. And I must say that, having been on this board for a few years now, we've actually been able to see some of the work that come to fruition. And as Jackie alluded to, the MCDC is a big partner with us. They give several $1 million each year with their budget to fund some of our most important projects. And just so you know, some of the projects that we have going on right now are, we have Oselas Park, which is being renovated, along with Cottonwood Park. That's something that we've been looking at, and I would encourage you to look at the history of that park.
If you have 30 seconds.
Okay. Finch Park is also another project that we've been working on, as well as Field Lightning at Gabe Nesbitt and Al Ross Shop. And most importantly, I think for our community, is the senior recreation and senior pool is being updated as well. And while I'm serving on the board, I have 3 young men that have gone through all the Mckinney sports and activities, whether it was playing soccer, football, basketball, baseball, or running track. And we have an intimate relationship with the parks and the gyms here. And so I just want to be involved and give back to the community that has given me and my boys so much. And thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Kip. Appreciate you and your service. Okay, so now we have Bob Fisher, and he is with the McKinney Housing Finance Corp. Hello, Bob.
Hi. Yeah, I'm the current chairman of the McKinney Housing Finance Committee. We meet the second Friday of each month at 8 a.m. We're a 7-person board. We help with secure and safe housing, doing some renovations to different projects of individual homes. In the past, our limiting factor has probably been finances. We have a very exciting project going on right now, a public-private partnership with the NRP group for the attainable apartments for McKinney Flats, located near 121 and 75 behind the Volkswagen dealership. And we've gotten to be involved in what that project's going to look like, what the layout will be, the facades of the units. And it's really been exciting and fun, and should be very profitable for the city of McKinney, so that we can reinvest back into other projects and other things. We look for this to be a great success and to have more to come. So I think it's a great board to serve on if you get the opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate you. Okay, so now we have Connie Gibson, and she is the vice chair of Visit McKinney Board, also a leadership alumni. So,
Okay.
oh, you're muted, Connie.
You're muted, Connie.
It's a Zoom thing. Yeah, I know.
Can you hear me? I'm Connie Gibson. I'm on the Visit McKinney board, formerly the Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're a 7-member board with 1 alternate. And our main purpose is to advise the executive director on ways that we're going to spend the hot tax. The hot tax is how we're funded, which is our budget is between $750,000 and $800,000 a year. When you stay in a hotel and you pay the 13% tax, 7% of that goes to the city and 6% goes to the state. We're funded from the 7% that goes to the city. And that goes to promote McKinney as a destination, which we love McKinney. We want everyone to come stay in McKinney, come shop, eat in our restaurants, stay in our hotels, and then go home and tell all of your friends how fabulous McKinney is and come back. We advise the executive director, and she works with the 5-member staff. They sell McKinney to destination marketing groups, wedding planners, lots of different people. We also have 2 cycles where we do promotional grants to promote new or existing events, and we've been really successful with that. Let's see, I love this board because this board works really well with the Main Street Board, the CDC, and the EDC to make an economic impact on McKinney, and I like that. That's all, Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Connie. Appreciate your service as well. Okay, now we were going to hear from Lance Hammond with the Historic Preservation Advisory Board. So Lance, take it away.
Thanks, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. I chair the Historic Preservation Board, and we are a 7-member board. We meet on the first Thursday of each month, and we have 2 alternates. Unlike most of the other boards that you heard from, they talk about the future. They talk about where McKinney is going. The Historic Preservation Board, as you might imagine, we protect the past, especially historic district. And one of the things that sets apart a Texas city is a vibrant old town square, a downtown. And that's one of the best parts of McKinney. And that's what our board really focuses on. I've been the chair for the last 2 years on this, also an alum from Leadership McKinney. Being involved in this, being active in the community, it will just pay great rewards to you, to be very fulfilling, but also helps the rest of the citizens. And serving on a board or commission is a terrific way to have that local impact. Thanks very much to the Chamber for hosting this.
Thank you. Thank you. I am scanning some of our panelists here so I don't miss anyone. Okay, so we have from the to share a little bit about Building and Standards Commission. We have the new Director of Code Services, Carey Simpson, I believe, who is going to be sharing.
I don't have her on as a panelist.
I think she is filling in. I just got a message from Empress to promote her. She's filling in for Janine Lowing. Sorry. Well, after we're doing that, we'll move on to the McKinney Arts Commission, Vice Chair Letitia Nance, and then we'll try.
I'm sorry, I'm here. Can you hear me now? I apologize.
Oh, is that Carey? Okay.
I am here.
There we go. Okay. Thanks, Carey, for filling in. So if you would just share a little bit about the Building and Standards Commission. Also, just congratulations. I heard you just recently were promoted.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, hey, I have to tell you, thank you for having me. Building Standards Commission, super important board. It has 5 members and 2 alternatives. We meet as needed. It's usually around once a month. 4 really key components of what they deal with on the board. They look at historic neighborhood improvement zone program, and they approve like ability to reduce taxes on historic buildings that have improved the structures. They review new building code updates with the building official. They review building official or appeals of the building official's decisions. But near and dear to my heart, some of the really important things they do is they help us manage and make decisions on substandard buildings in the city of McKinney, and that's a job that can't be taken lightly. So those are really the 4 key things that this board and commission does, and we look forward to any new folks that are interested in coming and joining us and really helping with quality of life in McKinney.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carey. All right, now we'll go to Letitia Nance, who is the Arts Commission, and she is the vice chair of that board.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. I miss the community one we have, but this is also very nice post-COVID. The McKinney Arts Commission is just what it sounds. It is dealing with the arts in the commission. The city of McKinney does support and promote the arts, which is wonderful. So the city council allots funds each year to encourage art in the community. And the McKinney Arts Commission gets to advise the city council on how to distribute the funds. It doesn't sound fun, but it is super fun. And if all the boards have a very important part on how our city is run, but we get to put some lasting impressions that will last longer than when your commission is up. A few commission seats are up because we do alternate, so I do encourage you to join this board. You may have seen the Chestnut Street parking garage, McKinney Blooms. That is one of the Art Commission's projects that we did work on. My very proudest moment is getting the historical culture designation from the state of Texas, which allots us to have more funds, more exposure, and get, more people visibility to our beautiful city. So, and most recently, post-COVID, we were really able to rally. We partnered with Love Life Foundation to get a whole bunch of arts kits made to distribute to a bunch of children here in this really crazy world. So that was also a very proud moment that our chair, Molly Brewer Hahn, put on. So if you don't have any experience on boards, that's okay. You have the great city council people to help you, and then you also have members from the city who will liaison and work with you. And it is really a good use of your time. So I encourage everyone to apply, and thank you so much for having me, Lisa, and chamber members, and y'all have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Letitia. Appreciate you and your service. All right, so following up, Letitia, we have David Richey, and he is the vice chair of the Board of Adjustment.
Thank you, Lisa. So I'm the vice chair for the Board of Adjustments, and I get the question asked a lot, what exactly is a Board of Adjustments? We're a 5-member panel with 2 alternates. So if you've ever seen the zoning rules and variances for your home and you want to make a change to that and the city has turned you down, or you just put an application to do that, you come before us and we review it, and we're the ones that make those decisions. Good thing about our board, once we make a decision on our board, our decisions are final. The only way they can be overturned is for the person who's filing for it to take it before a judge, and the judge would be the only power to overturn our board. City council or anybody else can't overpower it. So it's a very interesting board. The city always says that our board is one of the most powerful boards in the city, just because our decisions are pretty much final. What got me involved in it, I joined the chamber probably 4 years ago, and then I became an ambassador and went through the ambassador program, and then went through leadership McKinney. So best class ever 2018. We are the original 30 for 30. Miss Empress was in my class, so it's a very good program. And just wanted to get more involved with the city and helping the city of McKinney become the best that it can. So it's a great board. We meet the second and last Wednesday. If we don't have a case, we don't meet, we get the emails. But it's a great board to get involved in, and I highly recommend you checking it out and coming soon to be a part of it. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, David. Appreciate your service, and also appreciate all that you do for the chamber as well, volunteering as ambassador and another leadership alum. Okay, so I've got with us also as a panelist today, representing the McKinney she's actually the vice chair of the McKinney Housing Authority, and that's Miss Ada Simmons. Let's get her unmuted. There we go.
There we go.
Very good. Good morning, everybody, and thanks. I'm so excited to be here, and I want to thank the Chamber and the city for doing this so that more people can know what we're about and get involved. But McKinney Housing Authority, that's easy to know what we're about. We directly affect residents who need a wellness in living. We're a 5-member board with 1 alternate. We meet monthly on the 4th Tuesday of every month. We work for an extremely exciting, well-prepared staff. Our work for that Tuesday is always delivered to us the Friday before that Tuesday. So we can go through all of the recommendations, all of the things that affect the citizens of the housing authority, as well as the demands of the HUD guidelines, so that we can be prepared for all of that. So our meetings go very well, and they're very well executed. And there's also an opportunity for lots of training with the housing, training through HUD, just training with ourselves, and training, of course, with other aspects of housing in the city. This is a very exciting time for the housing, because we have been applauded, and we've come out in many magazines about the changes and the historical parts of 2 new events where we tore down and rebuilt. Newsom
Ada, you
Home,
have 15 seconds.
the Newsom Home, as well as Merit. That was also, thank you so much for that. That was also, we had the groundbreaking this year, and the residents moved back in. So I invite you to want to join the housing, where you're helping the residents into wellness, as well as you become better in learning all of the needs and all of the guidelines that it takes to make sure that that entity is run well. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry if I was too long.
No, thank you, Ada, and thank you also for your work on the Census Committee as well. It's been a pleasure to work with you on that. Okay, from representing the McKinney Economic Development Corporation is their chair, Ken Sipiora.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us and taking your time today to learn more about MEDC. We have been investing, a little bit background on myself. This is my 7th year of board service in our city. The first 2 were spent on the McKinney National Airport Board, and the most recent 5 serving as on the MEDC and currently privileged to serve as chairman. We've been investing in McKinney since 1993. We're funded by a half-cent sales tax. Our 2019 budgeted revenues are approximately $15 million. We have 7 board members and 1 alternate. Our appointments are staggered between 1 and 2 year increments to assure continuity as terms expire or resign or otherwise replaced by city council. Our board provides policy direction and guidance, investment approvals, and ad hoc support to our professional staff of 8. We strategically invest in companies and projects that generate significant commercial ad valorem tax values and create jobs in some targeted industries. We work very closely with our partners and stakeholders, the Chamber, the Community Development Corporation, the city, Visit McKinney, McKinney National Airport, Parks and Recreation, and certainly a whole lot more than that. Currently, the 121 corridor is a priority element of our economic development strategy. To optimize important locations along that corridor, MEDC acquired more than 150 acres of development sites and will also invest in next generation infrastructure on those sites. Our goals for that corridor include Class A office space development for corporate headquarters and other large users, high quality mixed use amenities with an emphasis on project aesthetics. We also are enjoying a very robust pipeline of development opportunities along that corridor and across the whole city.
15 seconds, Ken.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to brag for 15 seconds. We've had some really great successes. Independent Financial, SRS Roofing Headquarters, adjacent to Hub 121, Packard Dine and Craft, and their manufacturing plant division headquarters, and the Raytheon campus expansion. All in, $200 million in capital investment, 1,500 jobs in our targeted industries. Reach out. Happy to talk to you. Love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate your service as well. 7 years. Wow, I did not realize that. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, we also have with us D. St. Alban. He is with he's the supervisor of the Animal Services Facility Advisory Board. Thanks for joining us also from San Francisco.
Yeah, good morning.
We took a trip together, I see.
Yeah, because we're such world travelers. Well, good morning. Good morning. So I'm here to represent the Animal Service Facility Advisory Board. And this is just an advisory board for the Collin County Shelter, which although the city does not own or operate that shelter, it's located in our city, so we're required to have this board. And it's simply to assist the shelter with compliance with the health and safety code. And it meets 3 times a year. And that's about all I have about that.
Well, thank you.
Pretty simple.
Pretty straightforward board.
Right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
that. Okay, so I have Jolie Williams also joining us today. And she is the chair of the McKinney Main Street Board. So Jolie, if you'd like to share a little bit about what your board does.
Yes, the McKinney Main Street Board's vision is to see the continued growth of McKinney's vibrant downtown area through economic development, increased promotion, enhancing tourism, infrastructure redevelopment, historical preservation efforts, and an increased awareness of McKinney's history. The board ensures that downtown McKinney continues to be vibrant, inviting, safe, growing area that it is known today. We are currently working on updating our mission and our vision. We put many hours. We are not just meet once a month on the second Thursday of every month at 8:30. We put in many hours outside of board meetings working on economic development and setting up, decorating, volunteering at our downtown events such as Oktoberfest, Home for the Holidays. Many people are there on Thanksgiving and many days before decorating up the tree and getting all the decorations set up for the events. We are a very well respected Main Street organization in the state and in the country. It's a national organization. We have worked to achieve the cultural designation from the Texas Commission of the Arts, obtained a grant to help fund the polish of our jewels at Historic Courthouse, installed new signage, initiated and operate the downtown area shuttle known as DASH, installed speakers downtown, work with business owners and council to pass the new open container ordinance downtown. Just to name a few of the things that we've done in the past several years. If you're wanting to get involved in our wonderful downtown community like I do, Main Street might be the board for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jolie. Thank you for your service too as well. And so with that, that concludes, I think, all the people who are actually on our call or on our Zoom call today. But just in case, there was 3 other boards or commissions that for whatever reason, I'm not sure that the panelists were able to log in. But if they are, I want to make sure that I give them an opportunity to speak. If not, I want to make you aware that there's other opportunities. So one is the Community Grants Advisory Commission. So if there's somebody there who could speak to that, please chat us and we'll get you an opportunity to speak, as well as the McKinney Armed Services Memorial Board and the Library Advisory Board. All of those boards are also extremely important to keeping a very well-rounded community. And speaking of well-rounded community, I think as we went through each of those boards and commissions, you can see there's so many different ways to plug in. And it's so important that we have strong boards who provide that input and volunteerism, because it takes a lot to make a great community, whether it's the arts and commissions or it's in the Community Development Corporation or it's tourism like Visit McKinney and the list goes on and on and So a lot of great ways to plug in with your expertise. All right, so I am going to go ahead and, unless I hear from the others, I will start with our question and answer portion of this. We've had some really great questions come through. Okay, so one question that we have is, I travel from work or for work Tuesday through Friday. Are virtual/distance options generally available for meetings on your board or boards in general? So I don't know who to punt this to, if that's a Kim or an Empress question.
I'm happy to answer that question. Currently, right now, under the COVID-19 pandemic directives from the state, there are some allowances for remote meetings, but in general, state law requires that members participate in person.
So just out of curiosity, Empress, and I may be asking you to predict the future, but we know that after COVID-19, there's going to be a lot of changes that we may have used in the interim to get through this that may actually apply and stick. Have you heard anything from the state that maybe they'll be willing to allow some technology, or is that, am I asking you to look into the crystal ball that and predict the future?
Well, we haven't received any direction such as that, but again, we are in changing times where we're seeing a lot of efficiencies and effectiveness of tools. So that's something that's definitely on the table and up for consideration.
Great, thanks, Empress. Okay, another question that came through that I think, I'm sure a lot of people might also have this question. Is it advantageous or a hindrance to apply for more than one board? How do we know how many seats are also available? So it's two-pronged. How do we know how many seats are available on each of those boards or commissions? So is that an Empress question, I think? Yeah.
Yes. The city council did a really smart thing a few years ago. They established for all terms to be somewhat staggered. So all board members serve a 2-year term and are eligible for reappointment. However, the city council every year considers about half of all seats. So there are typically positions available on all boards. One of the things that the city secretary's office will do moving forward is post a listing of all active members and their current terms. So that way we're working with you to make that more easy to understand.
Very good, because there's another question that is kind of similar to that, and it was, the board application states this board does not have any openings. Should we still complete or search for boards with vacancies?
That's a really great question. That response is based on the to-date point in time. So as of today, all vacancies are filled. But on August 25th is the day that the city council will consider all appointments. So basically disregard that message. And I would encourage all applicants to put a check next to all of the boards that they're interested in, and they have the option to select up to 4.
Okay, excellent. Another question. Are there any boards or committees that have more trouble getting members than others? They all sound like they are pretty well staffed.
I guess that's another question for me. Statistically, statistically, I would say the animal services probably has the least applicants, but it's very interesting because, you know, who doesn't love pets? Who doesn't love animals? So we always encourage people, especially our animal lovers, to apply for that board and really be a part of helping to set the direction and ways to support assistance to, you know, our 4-legged friends who are in those shelters.
Thanks, Empress. So another question, will I also in the future or now be able to reach out to the chamber to get more information about multiple groups at the board? So I'm going to take that as a, I think there's multiple ways. We will definitely be publishing this webinar as well as sharing the information from the chamber's point of view, which will link back to, there's a web page, I believe, on the city's website that has all the different boards and commissions. And as Empress has mentioned, I think you're going to be putting the people who are currently serving, what their terms are, so you'll kind of know where those vacancies are. Did I understand that right, Empress? We'll be sharing that in multiple formats, I think, is the best way to answer that. I know the city is doing a great push out to the community as a whole, and encouraging people to also sign up. So just continue to keep those questions coming.
The link to that is in the chat also.
Thank you. Thanks, Deb. That's the questions that I can see. I'm trying to look back and forth. Oh, okay, I see one coming through. So this may be more for Mayor Fuller. I'm interested in applying for the MCDC board. What type of experience does this council look for in applicants for this board?
Well, that's a great question, because MCDC, does a lot of things. MCDC participates in economic development projects as well in many ways. And then of course the community development, community amenities and that type of things, like you heard from the board member, parks and rec and those type of events. So, we're always looking for a diverse group. So I guess the answer really would be, we would see who is on the board, who is going to be remaining on the board, what skill sets they have, and then what skill set might be the best to supplement who we have. We certainly want business-minded people. We want engaged, charitable, community people that are out in the community, understanding who are just not just our nonprofits, but the caring philanthropic side of McKinney. We want people to understand that. We just a lot of different skill sets. So it really will depend on what positions are coming up, who's leaving the board, and where we may feel we're lacking. But again, it's a wide range. That board is tremendously diverse in what it tackles. So pretty much if you're an engaged, I'll tell you this, first and foremost, if you are an engaged resident that has a true desire to see McKinney be the best it can be, that's first and foremost what we're looking for. People that are really willing to get in and be part of a team to help us continue to be the great city we are. But business experience, social experience, lots of different skill sets we need on that board.
Thank you. So I have a question, Empress. I think this might be an Empress question. Tell us a little bit about the process. So the deadline to apply, you mentioned, is June 19th. So you fill out that application. What are the next steps that occur after those applications are submitted?
Absolutely. After the applications are submitted, those applications will be provided to the city council for review. There will be a period between late July and early August where candidates can actually interview with the city council members. They'll have several dates, which will be posted very soon, to go in and basically put your best foot forward, let the city council members know who you are and what you're interested in your own words. From there, on August 25th, the city council will make those tough decisions of assigning those board members to each board. That is probably one of the most fun council meetings, in my opinion. We encourage all applicants to attend that meeting as well. After those appointments are completed, you will be formally notified from the city secretary's office, as well as an official welcome from the mayor. And you will go through training in September in terms of open meetings, Texas regulations that are very important for all board members to understand, and your term will begin on October 1st of this year. And all appointments will be for 2 years, so from October of this year until September 30th of the following year.
Very good, thank you. So I have another question that has come through. So this question, let me look. Oh, I just lost it in my chat. Apologize. It's a Zoom thing. This question, it says, any way to update board selections for your interest after applying? So you want to take that one, Empress?
Yes, the application is actually available to update any day of the year. So once you submit it, you can go in and make changes and revisions to it anytime you like.
Very good.
Yeah. And can I add something to that? So once we start in the interview process, we may have, we may have 20 people that apply and list a small number of boards. We may have some that have very few. We end up sometimes with more openings in the board than we have received interest, at least as it's identified on an application. So, when we interview, we're interviewing, yes, for the board that someone has specifically identified that they have an interest in. But quite frankly, we're taking notes throughout the interview process and really trying to get a handle and a feel for every applicant, and we'll often have to go back to applicants that didn't have a specific board or commission on their list, but we don't have one that has that on their list. Yeah, we have an opening, so we'll then circle back and talk to those that really shined in the process and ask them would they have an interest in this other board or other commission. So we're really interviewing, yes, for the board specific identified, but also just in general. Is this person an engaged person that we feel would have a commitment to the community?
So I have another question I'm going to ask you, but I'm going to follow up on this one, George. So I think it's kind of important to note, you can be selected on a board or commission, but you can also serve as an alternate. Is that correct?
Sure. Yes.
So are there times during the year when, that's openings occur? Right now is the big push and the terms are up, but.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, somebody moves, right? Somebody takes a job out of town, a position opens, or they determine that it was more time that they weren't prepared to commit to. So, there's openings that come up throughout the process, and we're going back to those applications, back to those interviews, back to our notes, and identifying, who we would contact to see if they're willing to step up and fill the position.
Great. Okay, so another really great question. This may have been covered, but do you have to be a resident of McKinney? I work here, but I live in Frisco.
So the answer is yes on almost every board and commission. I believe we still have, Empress, there's still, I think, 2 exceptions or just 1.
Empress, you're muted. Sorry.
Am I back on?
You're
there
on.
We go.
Back on.
Definitely for sure. All of the boards require residents except for Visit McKinney.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And then Empress or George, I think something also important to note kind of with the structure, we talked a little bit, each board has some things different. How you also have city council members who are liaisons to the board. So do you want to share with kind of what that looks like and how that works?
Yeah, so we have council members that are liaisons because at the end of the day, of course, we want input from all residents, all boards. At the same time, we've got a city council that is making very specific and deliberate decisions, trying to steer the city. So it's important that boards know where the priorities of the council lie. So we try to make sure we do that by having liaisons participate in each of the boards and commissions meetings, there to answer questions. And then also for us to get feedback and bring back to the council. These are the things that are being considered at this board, this commission. These are the type of applications. And so it's just a way of two-way communication and ensuring that we all are on the same page. We all want to be moving in the same direction.
Yeah, I find that to be very important because as you're moving this big ship of a city government, that keeping those 2 ways of communication. And if you happen to watch council meetings like I do, don't know what
greatest show on TV.
Doesn't know what that says about me, but you do hear updates from the liaisons quite frequently, and I think that's really important because it shows that they're listening and communicating to the rest of the council some of the input and the things that are happening at the different board levels. So again, that your service is very much appreciated, I think, from the council level as well. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. So hopefully I have not missed one. If we have, we're going to go back and look through the chat and the Q&A to make sure that if something didn't get answered, we will try to connect with you offline. But I want to say, first of all, thank you to all the panelists today. You are volunteers, giving and serving our community for many years. And the work you do is very important. I also want to say thank you to all the participants today and your interest and your willingness to serve our community. I think it's been mentioned multiple times that it does take all of us. It takes a huge village to be able to have and keep and maintain and grow a better McKinney. So your volunteerism is extremely important in the process. And as the mayor alluded to, it's always been important, but it feels like now it's even more so. The time is of the essence that we have a lot of challenges as the city continues to grow and things that are happening across the board that we need to have that type of engagement. So I encourage you to apply and to give your time. Thank you to our mayor, Kim Plumb. I think she had to hop off to go to another meeting. Empress, again, thank you. I know you're going to be very busy in the next couple of weeks as people are applying, and you're so great at responding and getting people the answers to get connected. So thank you very much. All right, so we're going to share a chat link to the city's boards and commissions page. That's been, I think, been shared in the chat, so you can get that. We'll also follow up with an email with all of that, all those details. We'll be posting this online, and don't forget that the deadline again is June 19th. And I believe with that, we have our webinar. Thank you all for participating today and being gracious with our mute, unmute, me fumbling through some of the questions, trying to look through chat and Zoom at the same time. It's been fun doing these, converting these to a virtual platform, but hopefully you've got the information that you need to move forward with. So with that, I'm going to say you and goodbye. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.